Witnessing a sleek white and gold javelin darting through the desert at a speed of 300 kilometers per hour is a truly remarkable spectacle. The Haramain Express, a 450-kilometer electric railway named after the Arabic term for two sanctuaries, is engineered to accommodate 60 million passengers annually, including numerous Hajj and Umrah pilgrims, utilizing its fleet of 35 trains. In the realm of railway construction in the broader Middle East, Chinese companies, particularly the China Railway 18th Bureau Group, stand at the forefront. This express train is poised to significantly cut the travel time between Mecca and Madinah to less than 2 hours, revolutionizing land transportation in the region and alleviating congestion during the Hajj season. As part of China's involvement in the Middle East, the Haramain Express marks the debut of the first electric double-track high-speed railway in Saudi Arabia. Collaborating with Chinese assistance, it also stands as the initial high-speed railway traversing the desert. The rail network is a pivotal component of Saudi Arabia's efforts to boost tourism and diversify its economy beyond oil dependence. Beyond the Haramain Express, China is actively participating in Saudi Arabia's ambitious $500 billion NEOM megacity project. A recent $20 billion investment fund, a collaboration between China and Saudi Arabia, aims to align Saudi Vision 2030 with the Belt and Road Initiative. Speculations about China privately acquiring shares of Saudi Aramco suggest a potential geopolitical shift, possibly indicating Saudi Arabia's pivot towards China and away from the United States. This strategic diplomatic maneuvering by Beijing occurs in the context of Washington's diplomatic withdrawal from the region, notably following its exit from Afghanistan. China's impact in the Middle East. Initial indications from the Saudi government hinted at the necessity of U.S. support for constructing nuclear power plants in Riyadh as a condition for considering the normalization of ties with Israel. However, recent developments suggest a shift in this dynamic as China steps in to provide the kingdom with the necessary equipment and technological expertise for the power plants. This move grants Saudi Arabia the ability to resist recognizing Israel without facing repercussions. Over the past decade, new avenues for collaboration have emerged between China and Arab states, largely driven by the Belt and Road Initiative. Strategic alliances were forged bilaterally between China and key nations such as Algeria, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates in 2014, 2016, and respectively, creating a framework for enhanced cooperation. China further solidified strategic partnerships with Qatar in 2014, Iraq in 2015, Morocco in 2016, and Oman and Kuwait in 2018. By January 2022, a total of 20 Arab nations had entered into cooperation agreements with China under the Belt and Road Initiative, spanning various domains, including energy, investment, commerce, finance, infrastructure, and high technology. At both bilateral and multilateral levels, China and Arab states established platforms for cooperation, such as the China-Arab States Cooperation Forum in 2004 and the China-Arab States Expo in 2013. The 8th Ministerial Meeting of the China-Arab States Collaboration Forum in 2018 witnessed the signing of the Declaration of Action on China-Arab States Cooperation under the Belt and Road Initiative, outlining the contours of collaboration. In a significant development, Saudi Arabia was recently granted the status of a dialogue partner in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. This decision followed closely on the heels of a historic reconciliation agreement between Saudi Arabia and Iran, brokered by China. The agreement aimed to fully restore diplomatic relations, severed 7 years earlier. Despite Riyadh's long-standing alliance with Washington, strained in recent times due to disagreements over human rights and oil production, China's role in facilitating the reconciliation process between Saudi Arabia and Iran has drawn attention. President Xi Jinping's commitment to act as a bridge between the two Middle East powers last year played a pivotal role in advancing the reconciliation process. China has become the largest trading partner for both Saudi Arabia and the UAE, aside from oil transactions. Meanwhile, a free trade agreement with the Gulf Cooperation Council has been a top priority for China's diplomatic efforts. China's involvement in the Middle East has also grown through the Belt and Road Initiative, a key tool in its foreign policy. The BRI's maritime aspect is particularly vital for China, given its reliance on energy imports. In 2021, most of China's BRI investments were directed to the Middle East and North Africa, known as the MENA region, according to the China BRI Investment Report. In 2022, the Middle East received 23% of China's BRI engagement, up from 16.5% the previous year. China has invested in various projects, including the Red Sea Gateway Terminal in Jeddah and ventures in the TDA area of the Suez Canal Authority. Iraq topped the list for China's BRI financing in infrastructure projects in 2021, receiving around $10.5 billion. Another noteworthy development is the Iran-China Comprehensive Strategic Partnership Agreement, valued at around $400 billion, accounting for 10% of China's total BRI budget. This agreement includes joint development plans for the port of Chabahar and a new oil terminal near the Jask port, marking a significant shift from the port's traditional association with India. China's growing influence challenges the United States. As China strengthens its economic ties with the Middle East, it poses a challenge to the United States' dominant position in the region. Despite this, Arab states, heavily dependent on U.S. military support and weapon imports, are unlikely to sever their security ties with the U.S. in the near term. The direction of U.S. foreign policy in the Middle East hinges on the new administration's approach. The divide-and-conquer strategy, isolating Iran while bolstering alliances with Arab states employed by the Trump administration, is one option. Alternatively, the Biden administration's more isolationist approach, deprioritizing U.S. involvement in the region, is another possibility. To counterbalance Chinese initiatives, the United States should offer its allies and partners viable alternatives. This involves increased investments in the region, particularly in telecommunications and infrastructure. Instead of adopting a confrontational stance towards China, the U.S. should lead through attraction, allowing countries in the Middle East the freedom to choose between the U.S. and China. However, doubts persist about the U.S. allowing its allies to freely make this choice. In the Arab world of West Asia and the Middle East, Chinese contributions have become notable, showcasing their capabilities in various construction projects. The U.S. needs to ask itself whether it can do the same and rebuild strained relationships with Arab nations. Share your thoughts in the comments section below. If you find this content interesting, please hit the like button, subscribe, and follow us for more engaging videos like this one.